So we are starting to see trouble ahead. And nobody expected this to happen so quickly for a lot of these major retailers. And I want to address what's going on here because honestly, the US economy is in trouble. And we've known this for a little while, but we just don't know exactly how much trouble we're going to be in. Now, we do have some good news. That good news is if you make over $250,000 per year, which would mean you're in the top 5% of U.S. earners, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, you are likely to be fine. Only problem is, really, how many people are in the top 5%? Not a lot. There's just not a lot of people. Seriously, though, the U.S. economy is in trouble. And we have to figure out a way to get through this. But what does this mean? Well, here's what I can tell you. This has nothing to do with that new $2,500 or actually $3,500 headset that Apple just announced today. You think people are going to go out there and pay $3,500 for a headset? Well, some might, but those are the people that are making over $250,000 per year. The people making $30,000 per year are probably not going to go out there and buy a $3,500 headset. It just doesn't make sense. But here's what I can tell you. Our economy is in trouble, and it's because of our supply chain. And not just the supply chain here in the United States, but actually because of some stuff that's going on abroad. Just to give you an idea, the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach, they shut down amid labor concerns and negotiations. This happened the other day. We even know that the Panama Canal is said to have major issues due to drought and the possible worsening weather conditions over this summer. Imagine that. We are now going to struggle because of our supply chain. Not because of the amount of money that we have, not because of layoffs yet, because of our supply chain. And then that is going to impact the amount of layoffs that we are going to experience. Then the amount of layoffs that we experience is actually going to have a ripple effect or more of a domino effect. It's going to fall, it's going to collapse, and now we're going to struggle to pay for things because we just don't have the money. This is why some say there is major trouble ahead. Now, just to give you an idea how important the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles are and how important the Panama Canal is, 40% of all U.S. cargo from Asia is all imports is processed through the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. Okay? More than $270 billion in cargo crosses through the Panama Canal each year. And this is going to over 80 different countries. These are two crucial issues. If we cannot fix these labor negotiations, okay, if we can't get these fixed, if we can't figure out a way to move forward, that is going to cripple us, especially here on the West Coast. Now, once we see this slow in imports, and this is something we've seen in the past, this is going to cause major stores to increase their layoffs, especially retailers. And once we see layoffs with retail, this is actually going to be the domino that eventually hits the rest of the U.S. economy. Now, I do want to read you an email. And this email is something I received just this past weekend. And I'm not going to tell you the person's name, but this person says, and I quote, "Thanks for keeping us informed on the debt deal this past week. You have been my go-to news source lately. But I need to share something with you that I hope you share with others. Due to you knowing my name, I'm not going to tell you the store that I manage, but it is a bigger retailer. I have managed this specific location for more than 17 years, and this is the first time since 2008 that I am seeing consumers spend the way that they have been. Initially, consumers moved away from electronics, toys, and tools and started buying clothing and food. But now, our location is seeing consumers spend on seeing consumers spend on quality food. They're turning towards frozen vegetables, cheaper cuts of meat, highly processed goods, and things like that. And the amount of returns that we are seeing is beyond normal numbers. My boss anticipates a recession within the next 3 months, and if this occurs, she said that we would likely need to lay off 20% or more of our staff. This is not what I want to do, as this is my extended family, but We are all preparing for the worst. I just thought you should know. So, again, what we are seeing right now is it's a major shift. Retailers are still buying tools and electronics and toys. They're buying clothing. They're buying household items. They're buying small electronics, small, kitchen items. What do you call those? Appliances. They're buying office, furniture. They're buying actual furniture. Seeing people, a lot of these retail stores, they're buying things like workout equipment, right? We see this all the time. Pet supplies. But guess what? Consumers are not buying all those things. We're not spending our money on those things. We're spending our money on food, on a little bit of clothing. That's what we're spending our money on. And this is what's very concerning to a lot of people, and many economists are saying that this is the warning sign, because if we are seeing consumers not spend money, but these retailers are still buying those products, guess what? They're going to sit on the shelves. And as they sit on the shelves and we're not buying them, they're going to start to lower the price. And as they lower the price, guess what? They're probably going to lose a little bit of money. As they start to lose money, guess what's going to happen? We're going to see layoffs. This is what we're going to see. Experts anticipate layoffs are something that we are going to see very soon. Again, this isn't something that we want, but this is something that nobody expected to happen so quickly, because it's starting to turn all of a sudden. This isn't something that we just expected, okay, it's going to take until 2024, possibly 2025. No, we knew it was going to happen. But what's happening is it's starting to happen fast. That's the problem. So, I just wanted to fill you in on what's actually going on at this time, because again, this is major trouble ahead. This doesn't even take into account what's going to happen if Congress can't come up with a new federal funding bill for fiscal year 2024. This doesn't take into account anything for Social Security. Doesn't take into account OPEC cutting production again by 1 million barrels a day. Doesn't take any of that into account. Okay? It also doesn't take into account what we should expect once we start to get into the final year before the presidential election in 2024. Things are going to heat up. We're going to see some major changes. But again, I promise you one thing, I will be here every step of the way. So again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on the next one.